A rich, chewy treat studded with walnuts bursting with chocolatey flavors. These really, truly are the absolute best all-American brownies ever. Okay friends, here's my prediction. You're gonna make this brownie recipe, try one, and then you're gonna swoon, which is what happened to all of us. After that, you're gonna make the recipe again and again and again. You just can't get enough. Better still, you can keep them stored in the freezer for an emergency. You can make a batch, put it out on the counter for guests to enjoy over the course of a weekend, if they last that long. Ultimately though, this brownie recipe is chewy, it is chocolatey, it is nutty. Oh yeah, it's easy to make. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna whisk, we're gonna melt, we're gonna stir, we're gonna sprinkle, and we're gonna bake. Let's start with the prep steps. Number one, turn your oven on to 325, rack is in the middle position. We bake the brownies in a 9 by 13 inch metal pan. Line it with foil, grease the foil. Then the recipe calls for 1 cup of chopped walnuts. Spread those walnuts out onto a parchment lined baking sheet, transfer them to the hot oven, and toast for 5 minutes. Toasting the walnuts for this brownie recipe is a total game changer. It's gonna heighten that toasted nut flavor. Next up, grab your whisk. Medium-sized bowl, please. 1 1/4 cups of cake flour, add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, plus 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Whisk those 3 ingredients together really well. I just called for you to use cake flour. During the testing of this recipe, we realized cake flour has way less protein than all-purpose flour, so you're gonna end up with a very tender cake-like brownie. These are not fudgy brownies. Did you hear that? They're not fudgy, they're cake-like. Let's continue now and get our melt on. Medium pot, 2 inches of water, bring the water to a boil. When it does, reduce to simmer, then place a stainless steel bowl over the pot. Add 12 tablespoons of butter plus 6 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. We're gonna stir to melt, and when it melts, we're gonna combine thoroughly. We're gonna be doing a lot of stirring, and our mindset for the next little bit, smooth. Pour the chocolate and butter mixture into a large bowl, add 2 cups of granulated sugar, and stir to combine. Next, we're stirring in 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I want you to do a finger test. Make sure the mixture is cool to the touch, and then we're adding 4 eggs at room temperature, 1 at a time. We're stirring each one in thoroughly. Every time we stir it in, it needs to be smooth. It's gonna take a little bit of elbow grease, but that smooth texture is important. Next, we stir in the dry mix. I add it in thirds, scraping down the sides, working out lumps after each addition. Remember those toasted walnuts, scoop up maybe half the quantity and gently stir them in. Pour the brownie batter into the prepared pan. We're gonna smooth it out into the corners, the sides. Try to get it spread out in an even layer. Now it's time to sprinkle. Grab the bowl from that dry mix, add the remaining walnuts, plus a 1/4 cup of milk chocolate chips, 1/4 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips. Toss these ingredients together by hand, then sprinkle that mix of chocolatey nuttiness across the top. Transfer the brownies to the oven to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Rotate the pan at halftime. Your goal, toothpick test, your brownies are done. When they come out of the oven, you're gonna wanna dig into them straight away, but you can't. You gotta let them sit to cool for 2 hours. But once they've settled down and cooled off, we're gonna lift them up out of the pan. We're then gonna cut perfect squares. These brownies are so rich, I'm suggesting 24 squares. You'll see when you try them, just pace yourself. Last thing, let me show you why these brownies are so remarkable. As I dig in, the chocolate is melty. You can tell these brownies are chewy. They have a little bit of cake texture, and of course, they're nutty. You gotta make them. We're here to help. The full recipe is up at weekendatthecottage.com. When you're visiting our website, please subscribe to it. Look for this video and tons more on our dedicated YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And then finally, when brownies are this delicious, take pictures of them and post them on your favorite socials. Simply use hashtag weekendatthecottage when you do on Pinterest, the Gram, and Facebook. These really are the absolute best all-American brownies ever. So yummy. I'm gonna eat all 24 of these, I swear. Oh, they're so good. Good, good, good.